Labor movements. Usually, labor movement or trade unions represents the ordinary workers. Labor movement is a movement demanding better working conditions and pay for the workers along with the demand for the implementation of labor-related legal provisions. The movement that is held through the trade unions is also called as labor movements. In many countries, trade unions have also become the political parties. Pro-labor philosophy has been evolving in opposition to the exploitation of the capitalism. In European countries, due to industrialization, there was a drop in the employments available in agricultural sector, and more employment were there in the industrial sector. This resulted in the migration of workers towards industries. This led to overexploitation of workers. They were forced to work for longer hours. The laborers became aware of this exploitation and became organized opposing these developments. During the 19th century, workers' parties and trade unions started organizing workers all over the world. The International Working Men's Association is the first labor union established in London in the year 1864. Main aim of this association was to protect the interest of the workers. They wanted to implement 8 hours shift of working only. The labor movement spread to other parts of the world during later part of 19th century. In order to protect the social security of workers, the Government of India implemented Act in 1923 to ensure social security. This act helped the Indian trade unions. The various associations could gain legislative recognitions. After this, many laborers' unions were started and they have continued to protect the rights of the workers. There are many labor unions who have continued with the work. Untouchability Prevention Movement. Untouchability is an inhuman practice of stratified society. Before the implementation of Constitution, the ideas like untouchables should be untouched, should not stand next to him were in vogue. Untouchability Prevention Movement is a movement aimed at achieving eradicating of the practice of untouchability and attacks on the untouchable people. It is a movement against caste-based social exploitation. The untouchable communities have been fighting for their rights for many years. We shall see a brief history of this movement. The history of prohibition of untouchability movement. The history of prohibition of untouchability movement. Jyotiba Phule organized a movement including untouchables and backward classes. The aim of the movement was to oppose Varna system and resist the dominance of caste social system. With this aim, various movements were started in states like Karnataka, Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh during 1917. By 1925, Peraram started self-importance movement in Tamil Nadu. With idea of Dr. B. R. Ambedkar on gender discrimination, untouchability, the movement became more powerful. In the Round Table Conference of 1930s, Ambedkar called for the untouchables to become the rulers of India. Ambedkar continued his fight for the rights of Dalits. Ambedkar continued to assert the rights of untouchables and women throughout his life. He started a periodical named Mukanyaka and was instrumental in creation of various movements against the practice of untouchability. Gandhiji considered the liberation from untouchability along with the national freedom. He was a social reformer. Even today many organizations and associations are active in the work of eradication of these evil practices.